So again, good morning. In our previous video, we will discuss about standard-based curriculum development model. So now, we'll continue the discussions, which is to discuss the phase 1 to 3, the develop standards, develop benchmark, and develop final products inside in the standard-based curriculum development model. But before that, let's watch this video, which include in our discussion, which is the linear model of communication. So in this video, we will know about the different various model of communications. The first one is Aristotle model, Lasswell model, is MCR model, and the last one is Shannon and Weber model. So in this video, we will explain the basic types of communications. So let's watch this. Let's enjoy for watching.
Linear model of communication. So being a communication student, you might have heard of various models of communication, like the Aristotle's model, SMCR model, and the Lasswell's model, or even the Shannon and Weaver model. Wait, you are not a communication student? No worries at all. In this video, we will explain a basic type of communication model, that is, the linear model of communication. Long ago, when the concept of communication as a study was new to the world, linear model was the very first attempt of scholars to explain the process of communication. So the linear communication model was first introduced by Shannon and Weaver in 1949. In this model, the message travels one direction, which is why it is called linear, from the sender to the receiver. A source will take an idea, give it a meaning through words, and send it to a receiver through a channel. Once the message is sent, it is the receiver's job to extract the message out of it or to decode it. Now let's talk about the various components of linear model. Sender is the one who sends the message after encoding. Encoding is the process of converting the message into codes compatible with the channel and understandable for the receiver. Message is the information sent by the sender to the receiver. Channel is the medium through which the message is sent. Decoding is the process of changing the encoded message into understandable language by the receiver. Receiver is the person who gets the message after decoding. Noise is the disruptions that are caused in the communication process, in channel, or in understandability of the message. So just an example, during a seminar, the lecturer is the sender who encodes his messages, uses a microphone and a speaker to channel his words. You sitting at the last bench decode the message and act as a receiver. But sometimes unnecessary talking and gossiping leads to noise in the process and disrupts the communication. There are many types of models which come under this linear model of communication. They are Aristotle model. Aristotle's model is a linear communication model which was made for public speaking. In Aristotle's model, the speaker sent message and the audience received it. The model was made to establish a propaganda. Shannon-Weaver model. The Shannon-Weaver model of communication is a mathematical model used for technical communication or machine communication like telegraph or telephone. In Shannon-Weaver's model, if the channel does not have distorting elements or noise-producing elements, the communication is successful. Bernoulli's SMCR model. Bernoulli's model was made to understand general human communication. In Bernoulli's model, communication depends on many factors, like communication skills, attitude, knowledge, socio-cultural system, the way in which the message has been sent, the content of the message, senses of the receiver, etc. Pros and cons of linear model of communication. Pros. 1. This is very simple and an exact model. 2. It is good at persuasion and propaganda setting. 3. The speaker has the power to derive intentional results. Cons. that communication has a particular beginning and an end. 2. It does not have the concept of feedback and is incapable of human communication. Thus, this is more appropriate for mass communication. 3. This model becomes irrelevant in today's world since it is not clear in the world of internet as to who is the sender or the receiver. Due to many faults and non-applicability in many communication patterns, linear model of communication was not enough as a model. Hence, with time, changes were made and different structures were built. But linear model still stays as a base model for every communication form. So, here we come to the end of this boring lecture. Thanks for being a patient listener and a component of this linear communication we have now. But don't worry, we have the feedback channel in the comment section. Please do comment, like and share our video. Don't forget to subscribe.
Okay, that's all for today's video. That's all about linear model of communication. So, according to the video, learner communication is one of the example of communications to give is seminar, which is we have sender and the receiver, such as the speakers are the sender and the receiver are the audience or the participants inside and the seminar. So we have four communications model. The first one is, according to the video, Aristotle model, Shannon-Weber model, Berlow's communication model, and pros and cons explains pros and cons communications model. So now let's talk about the three phases of standard-based curriculum development model. So first one, phase 1, develop standards. Develop a comprehensive set of contents. Standards using multiple sources. Refine the comprehensive list by eliminating and combining. Secure teacher input to identify teacher priorities. Use data to develop final draft of standards divided into essential standards and enrichment standards. So in the phases 1, the development standard, we need to be creative. We need to use internet connections. Then we need to use a lot of materials that could be our students satisfied in our discussions. So that is according in our phase number 1, to develop the standards or to meet the want of our student for what we want to happen in our student after the teachings or after our discussions. So let's move on to the phase 2. Develop benchmark. Review decisions about content emphasis. So as a teacher, we need to review all the things, all the materials that we put in our discussion. Identify standard for continuing development standards that will not be benchmark. Decide how benchmark will be identified by task or by teachers. Develop essential draft of benchmark evaluating which criteria provided, and secure teacher review, revise benchmark if needed. So benchmark is so very important because benchmark is used to improve, to refine, and to validate curriculum standard. Is equally a good practice and curriculum development. So it is very helpful in our teaching. Of course, to be the curriculum guide has been productive to our student. And then the last one is the phase 3, develop final product. So in develop to our final product, use standard and benchmark to produce scope and sequence chart. Decide on curriculum guide content, analyze benchmark into learning objectives. So as a teacher, to have a good productive output, productive teaching to our student, we need to use benchmark strategy to produce scope and sequence charts. Decide on curriculum guide content. So we are all bases in our curriculum. Even sometimes when in curriculum we cannot follow all, but we are only base and curriculum guide. Analyze benchmark into learning objectives. So our benchmark is to turn on into learning objectives, which can be helpful not for our teaching but for the overall knowledge of our student. If what they achieve after the discussion, if what they achieve after the class, if they are going out or going to catch up the discussions coming from the teachers. So that's all for today's video. So I hope you have a lot of learns. So thank you so much and God bless.
Phase 1 Development Standards. 1. Develop a comprehensive set of contents standard using multiple sources. Number 2. Refine the comprehensive list by eliminating and combining. Number 3. Secure teacher input to identify teachers' priorities. Number 4. Use data to develop final draft of the standard divided into essential standard and enrichment standard.
Good day everyone, especially to our beloved instructor of this subject, Ma'am Kikinal. Also for this video, I'm gonna share to you the Glattern's model and his background and what his contribution in terms of standard-based curriculum model. So I'll give you a short background about Alan Glattern. So who is Alan Glattern? So Alan Glattern, he was a major contributor of the third and fourth edition. His research used in the preparation of the first and second edition of writing the winning thesis or dissertation. A step-by-step guide was the foundation for the third edition. So Alan Glattern's model. Glattern's model is an example of linear and regional curriculum development model. The model recognizes the importance of using multiple sources in developing curriculum standards. The model also recognizes teachers' inputs in development of standards, which are often neglected in curriculum projects in the Philippines because of the top-down approach to curriculum development and implementation. Another important feature of Glattern's model is relevance and applicability in any educational institution and developing curriculum standards of various courses. So I will share to you the contribution of Glattern's model. It has also three phases. And Mr. Carlo Libara, he discussed about the three phases. And now, so I will give you the contribution of Alan Glattern's and curriculum. So Alan Glattern's describe 7 types of curriculum operating at the school. So what are the 7 types of curriculum that operating in school? So the first one, recommend curriculum. So when you see recommend curriculum, so what is recommend curriculum? When we say recommend curriculum, it is which recommend by the scholars and professionals. Recommended curricula are typically formulated at a rather high level of generality. So we have a 7 curriculum that operating in school from Alan Glattern's. So the number 2 is the written curriculum. When we see written curriculum, is intended primarily to ensure that the educational goals of the system are being accomplished. It is the curriculum of control. It is an important component of authentic literacy, the ability to read, write, and think effectively. So the third one is thought curriculum. So when we see thought curriculum, the thought curriculum is the delivered curriculum, a curriculum that an observer sees in actions as the teacher teaches. Number 4, supported curriculum. So supported curriculum includes those resources that support the curriculum, such as example, textbook, software, and other media. Assist curriculum. So what is assist curriculum? When we say assist curriculum, is that which appears in test and performance measures. This is an example of the teachers give an assessment or quizzes. That is an example of assist curriculum. State test, standardized test, and district test, and teachers made test. Okay, so number 6. So the number 6 is learn curriculum. So when you see learn curriculum, is the bottom line curriculum, the curriculum that students actually learn. Okay, so the last one is the heading curriculum. So this is a guide, or I give you the example of curriculum that contribute from the model. So the hidden curriculum is the unintended curriculum. It defines what students learn from the physical environment and the policies and procedures of the school. Okay, so that's all, and thank you for listening, and I hope you've learned from us.
So the next is Roberts 2003. So Roberts further explained his idea that as a field of inquiry, curriculum should allow new theories to emerge and new insights to flourish to make the curriculum field more vibrant and dynamic. So according to Roberts, in order to make our curriculum more vibrant and dynamic, curriculum should allow a new theories and insights to make or to develop the skills of the students and also to learn new things. So the next is the model should also recognize that developing curriculum standards is an integral part of the curriculum development process. So why curriculum standards is an integral part of the curriculum development process? Because curriculum standards is serve as a guidelines for educators and students to design a curriculum and assessments that represent what its students need to know and able to do. So lastly, this model does not include situational analysis nor needs analysis, unlike in other curriculum development model. But situational analysis or diagnosis of needs is included as an important process. So in this model, situational and a needs analysis is not included, but situational and needs analysis is an important process. So what is the importance of situational and needs analysis? So the importance of situational and needs analysis is that it will help in the formulation of curriculum intent, curriculum content, and selecting of learning, and also teaching activities. And also situational and analysis, needs analysis is help the educationalist to meet the needs and expectation of the society.
So now let's proceed to the advocacy planning principles and some important features that understanding by the design model emphasized. First, the understanding by the design model, or also called UBD, is a type of educational planning approach and example of backward design model curriculum. I call it backward design model curriculum because first, it identifies the desired result of the curriculum, which is knowing what are the skills, knowledge that student acquired in the end of the assessments or the curriculum goals. Second is determining the acceptable evidence, which is measuring the learning and understanding of the student in the curriculum. And lastly is the plan experiences of instructions, which is more focused on the performance activities which can lead to learners to achieve a certain desired result of the assessment and curriculum. Advocacy planning of understanding by design model is first stick to the authentic or original assessment before planning the learning experiences, because the essence of connecting the learning experiences and assessment is one of the most important features of this model, because in that way it helps to analyze what are the skills, knowledge, or understanding that student possible acquired in the curriculum. The understanding by design model, or the UBT model, emphasize that in formulating this type of curriculum, it's important to analyze first the needs of the learners, the needs when it comes in terms of knowledge, skills, and understanding. And another thing that this model emphasizes is in formulating this model, it should be focused and follow the standard prescribed by the government agency, which is the educations. And that's the principles, advocacy planning, and some important features of understanding by the design model trying to emphasize in formulating this model.